All right, guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're actually going to be changing it up. So instead of a metal detecting video for this weekend, we're going to be doing a bit of gold prospecting here at a local river here in Colorado. So the only question now is, what equipment do I want to take? So I've got a powered mini high banker right there, which I can also break down into a river sluice. And then I've also got the nugget bucket right there, or we could go with just a good old-fashioned classifier and pan. So I don't know that the battery for the high banker is charged to run the pump, so I think we're probably gonna have to eliminate that option. And then the river that we're going to, there's actually limited spots for the sluice, so I think we're gonna go with the nugget bucket. It's also very lightweight, compact, and portable. And I don't know that I really want to be taking a lot of equipment with me today. It's a lot of work loading it up, putting it in the wagon, and taking it down to the spot. It is a bit of a walk to get to where we're going. So yeah, I think we're going to go with the nugget bucket here. The only issue with the nugget bucket is you're not going to be able to process as much material and as quickly as you can with the high banker or the sluice. But that's all right, because it's more just about getting on the river and enjoying this beautiful day. So we're going to go with the nugget bucket. We're going to head down to the river, get the stuff packed up, and I will catch you guys when we get to the river. All right, guys, made it out to the river today. We're at a location that is known as Big Bend here in Colorado. If you guys look it up on Google Maps, it's actually going to show up as Steele Street Park. A little bit up north, just outside of downtown Denver, a little bit to the west of Denver down there. So we've got this huge gravel bar, as you can see. And first things first, we've got our equipment. We've got our Gold Rush Nugget Bucket over there. And so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take our classifier and our pan. We're going to dig a few spots, kind of sample around, and see what spot might have the best color. So let's get to it and see what we can find some of that Colorado gold. So the past times I've been to this location, I've done pretty well. Usually I don't think there's been a time that I haven't found stuff, but you just never know. So it's kind of hit or miss, just like metal detecting. So we're going to dig around. You do want to try and avoid the areas that has a sand like this, because that's your light stuff. Gold is heavy, it's going to drop. So you want to find areas where there are larger, bigger rocks. It's kind of mixed in over here, but with these bushes here, that might kind of act as like a sluice a little bit and trap some of that gold. So we're going to just pick a spot here next to the bush and dig and see if we can get anything out of it. Let's take this down to the river over here, pan it out, and see if we've got any color at all. Hopefully. And we just want to pan it down as much as we can, all the way down to the black sand, because that's where your gold and heavy material is going to be. All right, so we do got a couple of colors in there. Now, to be quite honest, you're probably not going to see them on camera because they are very, very tiny fly poop micro gold. But it looks like so far we've got about 3 colors, which isn't, you know, better than none, but nothing that's gonna get you rich. And, you know, I forgot to grab my snuffer bottle, but so I don't know if you guys can see those. You've got one, this would be considered a decent piece here. You got one there, you got an itty bitty tiny one right there, and you've got another one right there, and there is one more floating around in the black sand there. Doubt you're gonna see it, but so we got 3 or 4 colors, so not great, better than none. So we're gonna try another spot, see if maybe we get a little more color. So I'm gonna grab my snuffer bottle and we're gonna collect that up because it is gold, and so we want to hang on to that. All right. All right, guys, so I forgot to hit record. I just did my second test pan. I did forget to hit record on that, so not gonna see that. We only got a couple colors. We actually got less colors in that second test pan than we did from the first one. So we're gonna do one more test area and see if we get a little more colors, and then we'll kind of figure out which one we think is best, and then we'll start digging for some gold. My third test pan, so we'll see how we did here. So I do see a little itty bitty tiny piece right there. Definitely not gonna be able to see that on camera. It's way too small. But I promise it's there. I thought maybe a piece right there, but I think it's just a, well, no, maybe, let's see here. Yeah, it's a little piece of gold. So we got a little piece. Again, not sure you guys can see it, but it's right there. Right there. All right, so we actually did worse. Probably the worst in that spot we're at now. So I'm gonna try one more spot right over here, and then we'll probably end up going back to that first hole and digging there and filling up the nugget bucket and see how we do. So I think we're gonna try one more. I'm gonna try right here. Man, some tough stuff there. Pan this out and see how we did. Fingers crossed. Alright, so I see one itty bitty piece so far. So we're finding gold, but nothing really significant. Alright, so it looks like literally just the one piece there. One little micro dot, not sure if you guys see it. It's right there at the tip of my finger. Got it. All right. So I think that first spot was probably best. I think we're gonna head back over there and start digging into the nugget bucket. All right, guys, sorry I had to cut from the video there for a second, but we're gonna go back to this first spot here. This is where we did best. It's really only 3 or 4 colors, so not super great. But the challenge is we're gonna be using the Gold Rush Nugget Bucket, and we're not really close enough to the water to keep coming back and forth, because you need water to process the material. So we're gonna fill this bucket probably about halfway, and then we'll take it next to the river there, and then run it through the nugget bucket and see what we can get. Now, you really, when you're loading this, when you're digging and it's going into your classifier here, you really should be using water to rinse that off. Some of that gold is gonna stick, but again, because of the water issue, we're just gonna get as much in there that we can dry. And then run it. So we are probably gonna be losing some gold. It's gonna be stuck to those rocks, but not really all about the gold today. We're definitely not gonna find enough to make us rich. So we're just gonna take it real easy and just find what we can. If we find some awesome, if not, then it is what it is. Just say about halfway, but we're gonna do a quarter. We'll run this, pan it out, and see if we did any better. Now, if you're not familiar with the nugget bucket, it's actually a pretty cool design. Like I said in the intro, it's not gonna get you the same results as probably a well, definitely not going to get you the same results as a high banker or even a river sluice. But how it works, it's got this built-in classifier. Just load your material, wet it down, shake it out, and let it go down. And then it goes down this funnel here, right there. And then it goes down in that cup. And the gold will stay at the bottom of the cup. And as you're putting more water in, all the lighter stuff is going to build up and flow over the sides of it. So it's a pretty cool invention. Everything you need is right here in this bucket, which is awesome. Makes it really easy. So we're just going to go ahead and load that material in there like that, and then we'll add our water. And then you can see how it's going down in there. And that funnel, it comes to a head there at the bottom, and it kind of regulates the water flow so that it's not blowing all that material out of it. So we'll go ahead and put some more water in here. And then we'll go ahead fill that up. First one there. And then you've got another little classifier underneath here. If I can find the edges there. All right, we'll just finish off this that bucket right there, and then we'll pull it out, pan it out, see what we got, see how we did. Hopefully we got some color, man. Fingers crossed. At least, yeah, 5 specks would be kind of nice. It's not gonna make it rich, but like I said, sometimes it's just about being on the river, enjoying a beautiful day, and a little bit of gold is icing on the cake. There you go, we'll let it drain down. Let you guys take a look down there. Hopefully you guys can see in there. There we go. We'll put a little bit more water through there just to rinse it off. And then we'll pull out the cup full of our concentrates there and pan it out. All right, if we have any gold, it's gonna be in this cup right here. Now, chances are, I'm sure some probably still escapes out of that just because you got water going into it, pushing it over. So you're probably still gonna lose a little bit of gold, but that'll be the same even with a sluice or high banker. Unfortunately, I don't think there's anything on the market right now that is that it can at least guarantee 100% capture rate, but it's the way it goes. Let's get our pan here, our trusty Garrett sluice. We'll pop it in there, pan it down, see how rich we are. All right, now boom, there we go. Take this. All right.
Here we go. Let's see how we did. Oh, do you see a lot of black sand? That is a great sign. Let's stratify that stuff down. We're getting down to it. And then we'll have our answer. How good did we do? And did we find any gold? Any of that Colorado shiny? Alright guys, almost the moment of truth here. Just about down to pretty much all the black sands with getting rid of most of that light stuff. Still gonna have some, but alright. Let's see how we did. See if we're going home richer than we came. Ooh, she got a pretty nice little piece right there. You guys can see it. That's not bad. That's not bad. That's kind of what we're looking, you know, it's a little more what we're looking for there. See a little bit more. Oh, yeah, got another piece there. Oh, 2 pieces. I see them right there. Oh, 3. Oh, man. We're getting rich. Alright, we got those 2. Oh, see some more. Oh yeah, a couple more pieces. Alright. Better than I thought we'd be doing now. Got that piece. Alright. Looks like we got them all. Alright, we'll dump out the snuffer bottle here and just kind of see how we did with that. Not a lot, but you know what? There's still gold in there. Alright. Alright, let's see here. Yeah, we got some gold. It's mostly just micro gold. I mean, that's all you're gonna find here anyways, but take you guys off my hat here. See if you guys can see that. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but looks like there's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, probably about 18, 20 pieces. Some of them are super, super tiny, so it's gonna be hard to see, but it is gold. We will take it. So we'll take this home and we'll clean it up real good and separate it entirely apart from the black sand there. So all right guys, not a lot of gold, but we did get some. That's pretty awesome. So the nugget bucket does work. I like it. It's lightweight, it's compact. If you're not looking to drag a ton of equipment around, it's really going to be a great option. So like I said, you're not going to be able to run a bunch of material through it or fast through it, but it's still pretty cool, man. I like it. I enjoy it. It works, and I think we're going to call it a day. So not a long video for you guys, but I did want to give you guys something a little bit different than the metal detecting videos. I did go metal detecting this morning. I hit 2 parks. And unfortunately, I really just didn't find anything, certainly nothing worth really making a video out of. So we're gonna be skipping that for this weekend, but hope you guys enjoyed this, just something a little bit different. So hope you guys have a great day. If you are treasure hunting out there, best of luck to you. Heavy pans, happy hunting, and we will catch you guys on the next one.